I'm sure if something comes around that is some kind of, bomb that we don't know about, we'll have to take a look at it. But his point is he's looking forward to leading this country. He's not looking to, further injure the Clintons.
Well, Judicial Watch taking major issue with that, stating, quote, President-elect Trump should focus on healing the broken justice system, affirm the rule of law, and appoint a special prosecutor to investigate the Clinton scandals. Joe DeGenova is a former U.S. attorney and a former prosecutor. Joe, welcome. We talked about 3 weeks ago about this very subject, and at the time you felt strongly that the Department of Justice should see through this investigation, as should the FBI. Where are you today?
Well, magnanimity in victory is a governance decision that Trump has made. I certainly believe with all my heart that the rule of law has been left aside by this Justice Department with Loretta Lynch. And I believe that the way to deal with the rule of law now in all these cases is to clean house at the Department of Justice. But Donald Trump has made a decision that he wants to be magnanimous. She, Mrs. Clinton, is an undeserving recipient of presidential largesse, but I respect Donald Trump's decision. He doesn't want his presidency to be touched by the tawdry residuum of the Clintons' criminality. And I think she should count her blessings. But I respect the president's decision. I think it's a good one. And as Reince Priebus said, if new information comes up, I'm sure the president can change his mind. But Joe, he is the chief law enforcement officer of the United States under Article 2 of the Constitution.
Joe, to
contrary to what a lot of people are telling the
and you
public.
had served in the past as an independent counsel and as a prosecutor. Yes. I mean, you're a guy who likes to follow the rule of the law. Putting politics aside for a second, why is it not important to investigate a potential, well, the investigation is still continuing, but why is it not important to prioritize a pay-to-play allegation from the Clinton Foundation?
Well, first of all, I agree with that. And I'm not sure that the Clinton Foundation is not still under investigation. We cannot tell from the public statements made by either President-elect Trump or Kelly Conway or anybody else what is still under investigation. For example, Bill Clinton took $6.2 million from foreign corporations that had business before the State Department while his wife was Secretary of State. As far as I'm concerned, those were bribes. They should be investigated. The companies that gave the money should be investigated, and so should former President Clinton. But that's a decision for Trump to make, and I respect his decision.
Yes,
I would go
as
forward.
you said, but let me ask you about this. Why not then name an independent counsel, somebody who would step in, independently take charge of it so that Donald Trump doesn't have to weigh in on it?
I would accept that. I would prefer that. That would be my choice if I were president. But, and let me just say this. This is what Trump said yesterday, that he doesn't want to do this. I am not one who thinks that he might not change his mind and decide after talking